right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started really quick. I'm going to go ahead and pass out a quick little thing. Just because of time, I'm not going to have you stay here for very long, but I want it to be a quick little exercise. All right, you guys, so what I'm going to have you do is just really quick glance over these questions. And for virtual, I'm just going to read just a couple of them. It says, what are my Mary Kay goals for this week? In the areas of new clients, customer service, existing clients, retail sales goals. Why are these goals important to me? What additional resources or info do I need to achieve these goals? You guys, so I just really want you to, literally in a minute or less, I'm going to have you read through these and just white space something that stuck off of your heart that was like, I need to answer this question right now in the next minute. Okay, so just read off of these really quickly. So, and they are just journaling 30 seconds of what something that is off of their heart. Okay, really quick. Somebody tell me what question they answered when they were white spacing. 4. 4. What obstacles could stand in my way, and what is my strategy to overcome them? If you don't mind sharing, whoever just said 4.
I said my own fear and self-doubt, and to overcome it, I'm going to be proud to know that I am enough.
Okay. Anybody else? Great.
For every no, I reach out to another 3 people.
For every no, I reach out to another 3 people. That's a strategy, Leah.
Staying consistent with myself, not only with other people, but to be able to overcome the possibility of new opportunities.
Yeah. You guys, how many of you have read Rachel Hollis? Let me just see a show of hands, okay? Okay, if you haven't read it, Girl Stop Apologizing, Girl Wash Your Face. I mean, clearly that's a Mary Kay book. Wash Your Face. It's so crazy because she said, I was out with my girlfriends, and one of them called when I got home. And they said, what are you doing? She said, I'm on the treadmill. And they said, girl, we just ate. We just had wine, whatever. And she goes, I'm so sorry. And she goes, I probably would have just not done it. She goes, see, that's the problem. Most people are never keeping the commitment to themselves. We're the first ones we break a commitment to. That's powerful. You guys, we're so focused, like, yes, if I told either Dana, it's weird that they're sitting next to each other. If I told either Dana that I'd meet them at 4 o'clock for coffee, if you tell yourself you're going to wake up at 5 to get your mind right, we're like hitting the snooze. I would never hit the snooze, or I would never put a prior engagement in. So it's crazy when we divert ourselves. So consistency with yourself is huge. What else? Anybody who answered something? Yeah.
I answered 5. And my answer was not bringing the opportunity. Like, one of my weak links is not bringing the opportunity to anyone in general. More specifically, not trying to connect every single day with at least one person about the opportunity.
Okay. Anybody else? Last one. Yeah, Rhonda.
I did number 9, how am I marketing myself? I've been going on my VIP page, posting things, pre-scheduling them. I learned that from Ashley. I try to do that every week, every day. And then for me, I'm I'm trying to send out some more feedbacks, but I got to physically walk into some of my neighbors and introduce myself.
Yeah. Awesome. Physically walk to introduce herself. I love that. All right, you guys, let's close this thing out. I'm going to go ahead, and I hope your pens are ready. No introductions needed. Let's go. All right, so I'm just going to ask you really quickly, and I don't want you to start any negative space. We're going to stay here. We're going to move on. Can you just write down one bad habit that you want to break in your Mary Kay? Like, what is the one thing that you are, like, releasing yourself of right now? Like, just let daughter in the house, we are not starting Frozen, but let's like let it go. Literally, okay? Let's like just, because that is something that we like carry. We're like, oh, we're so bad. It's like the negative stuff that you tell yourself is just such garbage. It is insane. And so Ashley said this morning, success is usually found in a pile of mistakes. It's usually found in a pile of mistakes. The problem is we stay there too long. Okay? So your why, what is it? Why are you here? Why has it been over a year? I'm just going to really pray that you don't let somebody tell you what your goal is. You know, I have been here, you guys. I have made more mistakes as a sales director. I assume everybody wants the position because to me, I'm like, why would you not want this life? But literally, sometimes it's not laid on their heart. So what is your next best step? By the end of this month, Lexi already told you. Give it to me. Next best step by the end of this month is to be Red Jacket. You guys, that is our, so sometimes we're like, oh, I'm going to go way up here. But we got to know what your next best step is. Do you even want Red Jacket? I don't know. I cannot claim that for you. But here is my prayer, is that you be really careful that somebody doesn't tell you your goal. And they don't mean to. Right? We don't mean to. I told all of my girlfriends when we were in Hawaii, even people in Mary Kay, they like forgive them for what they know now, right? And they're like, we're so excited that you're going for $1 million. I was like, who said we were going for $1 million? We're going for a national area. Corporate asked us to do trip, and I was like, before national, I was like, okay, you got one. Now you got two. Let's move on. Right? And so we have to be really careful. So then I was like in the hotel, and I looked at Royce, my husband, and I was like, are we going for $1 million? He's like, what are we getting sidetracked for? Don't let somebody know who you are and stay in that lane to know exactly, because too many rabbits we're just chasing, right? And so it's really, really important. And so starting is starting. This is your best version of yourself right here for right now. Give me the next 45 minutes of the best version of yourself. Starting is starting. Is it one face? Is it two faces? Is it one party? Is it following up with somebody? You guys, starting is starting. But what happens, and this is why Mary Kay said 6, is because we make a laundry list. We talk about all the things. These girls know sometimes we do not do it. I was like, wrapped myself at, we got lash extensions. I don't know if you saw that. But Lisa was doing mine, and then she did Ashley's. And I go, I'm so excited. When Ashley comes, I'm not going to talk to you. And Lisa's like, yeah, okay. You're not going to talk? Probably not. You're going to talk to us. And I go, no, I'm not. And I went into the guest bedroom, which is really AKA my bedroom. And I went in there, and I shut the door. And I had to get done my 6 most important list. That was a Wednesday. That was the 6 most important list that I did on Wednesday. That was for Monday, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not beating myself up about it, but sometimes we just like, it's this laundry list of like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this. And like becomes really daunting. I'm like, bro, it is like not, yes, I just called you bro because that's what my son calls me. Bro, it ain't that deep. Like, it's not that deep. Like, we're like, oh my God. It's like, we need to like relax. I love Lisa. I think it was last fall advance or 2 years ago. They said, breathe in and like breathe out. And maybe it wasn't fall advance. I think she came and trained us in the other studio. That is how you realign. If you guys would have walked in to Jen and Christine and I going over our training, we were like we were like realigning ourselves because we were tired, we needed more coffee, we didn't really sleep. And so what do you need to do right now to just realign yourself? We were like thinking we were yoga instructors, and it was not pretty. But starting is starting. You guys, if you look up the definition for legacy, part of it says the passing down. We're relying on you guys to pass the legacy, to pass your training, to pass your wisdom on. Rhonda, 9 years? You've got something to say. 20, I don't remember. You got something to say. You have something to say. You deserve to be speaking. Alicia, girl, it's already, everything that you desire is already in you. So the fire is already there. It's what are we doing to rekindle that fire? So thank you for showing up. It's already there. Everything that you want to be is already in you. Let's add up the number of years. I don't know, does our calculator go that high? In between the three of us, it's 56. 56 years in the business. Just up here with 3 people. And I'll say what Andrea said on Tuesday, which somebody else said, it's good. Show me your date book, and I'll show you your goals. It's okay. But realization and admitting, like, where are we? How am I moving the needle forward? That's the next best thing. If it's snowing out in the middle, at the beginning of October on your date book, like, it's time for a change. And I mean, you open it up and it's all white. You're like, ain't nothing happening. But a lot of stuff that we fill, you know, we like merit ourselves on busy. We're like, we're so busy. Like, we merit ourselves. And that is like what society has given us, right? And man, if my husband were here, he would ask you, like, what is your absolute truth? Let me give you some. This is not in my notes. Somebody needs to hear it. The absolute truth. You're better if you have a 4-year degree. Well, that's what society will tell you. You're more educated if you have a 4-year degree. You're more successful if you're married with children. Like, these are truths that we have adopted, and they're not the absolute truth. There are many successful people with no college education. And so what is the absolute truth that we just need to release ourselves of? I think is so important. Do something powerful now every single day. What is that one thing that you could do in Mary Kay? Like, every day, what if you did one thing that was powerful? One thing. So I was listening to Amber Towngian, for those that listen to the $1 Million Message on Tuesdays. And she was talking about, and this is not to talk about not doing the things on the $1 Million Message, but hear me. She was talking about how only 1% of people write down their goals every day. 1%. And my husband has trained us a lot of times, but he used to do this thing that on one side of his paper was one goal. Some of you may remember this training. And he drew a double yellow line down it. And then what would happen on the other side? He said it's kind of like when you're driving. But the problem in your business is you just keep doing this. Right? And so you're like, this is what I want to happen, but we just keep crossing that double yellow line. And he woke up every morning at 5 and he would write that list. And so when I heard that, when I reheard her saying 1%, I asked him, I said, are you writing down your goals every day? And he said, no. He said, I stopped writing my goals. And what I started writing was who I am. And the only reason that we sometimes stall out, we're in, we're out, we're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. It's not that you don't have a desire, clearly. It's that you cannot see yourself in the position that you desire to be in. It's literally that we cannot see. So you will never behave or perform at a level higher than you see yourself as. You will never behave or perform at a level higher than you see yourself as. And so it's this indecisiveness that happens. It's this back and forth. We are red. We're not red. We are red. And I'm not talking about what Toronto's talking about. I know she sees herself as red because she's been there. But then what? And so it's this inner conflict. It's this inner turmoil. And it's this belief system that says that you can't. And so here's where the belief comes from, right? The belief comes from, it's based on previous experience. It's the emotions from those experiences. And then it's the image that you hold of that experience. I'm going to break that down a second. It is the experiences that you have, right? And that's that whole thing with what is your role and what is your purpose, right? Because people sometimes will be like, man, I'm just going to say, like in high school, I was a partier. Okay, well, that was the role that you played in high school. But that's not who you are now. And so we get so caught up in the role that we forget about who we are, right? Like, what is the number one question that people ask you when they first meet you?
Pink Cadillac.
What do you do? Yeah. Well, yeah. Where's your pink Cadillac? What do you do? Man, that is the role. Sam is a nurse. That is her role. That is not her position or her power. She plays a role. She plays a good one. But it's the role that she plays when she's at work. We're not passing out here. She's not making sure our vitals are okay. She's not, I'm like, right, praise the Lord. She's not, birthing no babies. Like, she's not doing any of that. It's the role that she plays when she's in those four walls. Right? So this isn't about a skincare system, you guys. This is the vehicle. It's the role that you play for the power, but it's the experiences that you had. You guys, some of us have had crazy things happen in our childhood. Some of us knew them, some of us find out later in life, but it's the experiences and the emotion from those experiences, and then it's the image that we hold of that. And so, man, I'm just going to ask you, like, what have we gotten twisted that was the role versus? And so goals are important, you guys. It's a divine, it is who we are supposed to be. I mean, like, that's biblical. God told Noah to go build an ark. Like, that was a goal that he had. Didn't care. Man, I just had my kids in homeschooling write about, like, what do you think Noah was thinking? Like, build this huge thing. There's no rain. That's not here either. So there's no rain. Like, you're going to look crazy. What were people mocking him for? You know, that saw him, like, look, dude, bro, like, you're going to build this ark? Okay, cool. There's no rain. There's no water. Like, it's not going to come. So, like, he just built it anyway because he knew his purpose. Because so many of us are not doing the things that we're like, man, we know we're supposed to do that because we're like, how silly are we about to look? No money in sight, but we're starting with inventory. Not a thing on my date book, but I know I'm going to be a red by the end of this month. Like, get silly. Get crazy. It's okay. And because goals are important because that is teaching others, right? I mean, most of you have heard the story. I was hanging that Hawaii picture and Xavier said, he's going to hang another poster? He was 12. My son, you're just going to hang another poster? You're actually going to do it this time. Goals are important. They're a part of who we're supposed to be. But it's counterproductive if we don't know who we see ourselves as. We're outcome based instead of input. You know, hardly ever are you like, okay, and I love that most of you in here said encouragement. Like, I just need to know, you just need to have a better version of who you see yourself as. That's what gets you over, if I'm going to be honest, that's what gets you over the huddle. Because this is not a place that you're like, oh, I have no idea what I would do in here to have a party. Like, maybe, okay, if that is where we're at, we need to back the train up and start at step one. But if you're like, I got a starter kit, like, I could probably throw a mirror out, maybe to dust it off a little bit. But I think I could squirt product in a tray and figure it out. So it's not the like, I wonder how. It's not the how. It's the why. You all know what to do. So it's not the outcome based, it's the input. That is what we need to change. And it's so crazy. In your experience, I have seen, I'm just going to call her out a second. I did not know Rhonda was in Mary Kay. and she was in my morning group at the Y. Remember back then when we worked out with and Royce and I were leaving one day. I'm like, I think she's in Mary Kay. And Royce is like, I'm like, I just heard her talking to somebody. I think she's in Mary. And I just saw this woman talking to everybody. She was talking to the lady at the front desk. She was talking to the instructor. And I'm like, this girl better watch out. I know she's not talking to these people. But I saw what I saw in her. And I said to Christine, I think there's this lady in my morning class that does Mary Kay, and I don't know who it is. And then she was like, that's Miranda, she's been in. I was like, oh. But I don't know what switched for you. But I'm talking about exposure to who you're supposed to be. You've got something to say. And I see you, and your husband is adorable, and the way he loves on you, and you've got something to say. And when I tell Rhonda, girl, you're a sales director, she can't see it here. So I can tell her all day long, but I want you to start seeing it here. Because we see something in you, and that's what we're talking about. We have got to know, we've got to only hang around those that are going to tell us who we really are. Because we will hide behind that role all day long. You want to know what my version of my story was? What do? I used to be a television reporter and anchor. I used to be. And we're just telling ourselves that we used to be a red jacket, or we used to be whatever. Don't get confused by the role. And let me just tell you this. Have any of you ever gotten an image of yourself in a different level than you are right now in Mary Kay? Literally, I'm talking about like, you went to seminar, you went to career conference, you like envisioned, you had a dream, you were like, man, I could see myself in that. You like had something in your mind that you, like I'm talking about, you had an image that was clear of who you saw yourself as. Let me see it. Like raise them high so I can see. That was a divine glimpse of who you're supposed to be. That was downloaded into your heart. That was a divine glimpse of who you were supposed to be. So here's the thing that I want you to do. With anything that comes against the divine glimpse of who you're supposed to be, here's what we're going to do. We're going to recognize it. Number one is recognize. I'm going to give you some R's. Okay? Number one is recognize. We got to recognize it. We've got to replace it. And then we repeat. We recognize, we replace, we repeat. This morning I told my husband, I go, what's your other 3 hours you're going? He goes, you're skipping a lot of content, babe. I was like, I only got a short amount of time. Give it to me again. And he trained on this on a Sunday Night Live, so you just need to hear it again. There's a revealing to you that has happened at some point in your Mary Kay. At some point. You saw yourself or who you're supposed to see yourself. There is something that happened that you have been revealed to. But as second as we got into that refine, man, you were like, I'm in the fire. Like, I don't know if I can do this. What did Lisa say the other day? I'm like, I sent a girl, her name is Jane. She didn't do anything. Like, this is really hard. Like, you were in the refining. Like, something happened. Somebody goes to you. Somebody sent back a starter kit. If it hasn't happened, I hope it does, because you cannot leave where you have not been. But the refining, man, that refining process is when most people are going to quit. That refining, like, are you ready to just get like grimy and dirty to level up to the position that you're supposed to be in? Like, how long, Sam? How long? Catherine, you have had changes in your life, sister, and I just feel like it is God just showing you to show up and show out. And like, we are waiting for you to sign your own permission slip. You don't need us to sign it for you, sis. Sign it. The reward is the end version of who you even saw in the reveal. That reward is the end version. When I think about it, when you come back a second time, something was revealed to you. Bride, Dana, when you come back for a second time, something was revealed to you, Jen. And so now it's the step. You are being delivered. When that happens from the reward process, you're being delivered from your current space. There is a space that we overcome. And it might not be like, I was in for 23 years in this space that she just delivered herself from to be a Cadillac sales director is a big space. It might not be that big space, you guys. It might not be that big space. In August, when we sat in the studio parking lot, she's like, oh no, bro, 42,000? I'm like, it's time. It's time again. It's time again, Lisa, that you lead your unit to a Cadillac. It's time again that we all, it's time again that we bring those things to the table. Because we know it here. We know the how. We all figured that out. And my husband said, make sure you give this one. I'm like, okay, what book is that from? He said, the book of Exodus. I was like, okay, Joyce, listen. Yeah. I was like, I don't have my Bible. You just got to tell me. And the book of Exodus. Now it's going to be Brooke. The book of Exodus, he said the problem is most people are delivered from oppression. Like Pharaoh, but man, they're never delivered. They're delivered from their oppressor, but they're never delivered from their oppression. They left Pharaoh with a slave mindset. So a lot of times we're leaving the oppressor. We're like, we got rid of whoever was negative in our life. I'm just going to call it out. We left the mama's home to move into the daddy's home because the mom was negative. We got divorced. We did something happened. So we left the oppressor, but we left with the same mindset. And it is the wanderness of familiar. It's one of Andrea's favorite national sales director. And now I cannot think of who she is. She said, I stayed in the wilderness.
Julie Weaver.
Yeah. Julie Weaver. I stayed in the wilderness for 40 years I was here. And when was I going to get out? The promised land. Man, there's only few. You think about those that still fought the giants. This is not here either. But they came back, they said, they're as big as giants and we to them are grasshoppers. They were never told they're grasshoppers. That's just what the image that they saw of themselves. So they were never delivered into the promised land because of who they saw themselves as. They were grasshoppers in the giant's eyes. And so how many people did it take to get Missy? Give it to me quick. How many down? Give the story. Somebody recruited somebody who recruited somebody. Oh. Give it to me a second.
I'm with you. Liv recruited Kaylee, who does nothing in Mary Kay. Kaylee held one party. She recruited Shelly and her mom. Her mom never did anything, but Shelly came to 2 events. And at the one event she came to the studio, she brought a guest, and it was Missy.
We get tired at one. It's about her. Have to determine if we're running, jogging, sprinting, or onward. You know, it's going to be hard, if I'm going to be honest, to jump over the hurdle at a walking pace. It's exhausting to keep tying up your shoes and taking them off and tying them up and hurdling it in sandals. Like, put the right shoes on. Get after and run. Like, you guys, this is the best. Mary Kay is up like 100,000% in the company. Like, if you think the company's going anywhere, what COVID should have showed you is that we're here. We're winning the game.
Yeah.
So get into winning. Like, literally get on the energy bus that is headed to national areas, that's headed to Offspring, that's headed to cars. And so maybe she needs me. Maybe she needs me. You guys are going to be in the hottest selling season right now. You're in it, okay? And so poverty wasn't meant for you. She talked about that this morning. Like poverty, I don't know what your Mary Kay has to pay for. I don't know. I'm like, we are working into a season. Like, I always just pray, like, God, show me that I'm faithful with a little so you can prove, I can prove to you that I'm faithful with a lot. And it's just a mindset this is not this training, but we all come to the table with a mindset of money. It's negative, it's positive. We all come to the table with that. You were always told we can't afford it, or we will find a way to afford that. Like, it's the mindset. You're never going to raise that much money on your fundraiser. Go get it, babe. You go knock on that neighbor's door. You're going to get it. It's a mindset. And so, are you working on a 6 most important list? Are you doing a 1 booking a day? Are you talking about a wedding list? It looks a little bit different. I would encourage you right now to go back to a list of people, because you have not, I guarantee it, I've got a hand in the air. I have not facialed everybody in 18 years that's in my life. I have not. I still have people on my list, if I'm going to be honest. So write that down. You're going to make a list. Maybe it's part of a challenge. I don't know. Make a new list. Make a new list. I have no idea what that note says, so we're going to keep going. Get committed to every event. Every event, you guys. This might hurt a little bit. I think you're ready, though. Every event happens weekly. It is no confusion. Why we're not in a position that we need. Man, I wonder why we're not acing the quiz and we only show up on test day. We are here. We pour, like, this is, like, we give to the table, not because it's something that, I mean, like, we want to, but we want to grow you. We want you to win. This is what that looks like. Comparison. Man, we can do it all day long here. Well, she has kids. She has a husband. I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. My schedule's tight. She works full time. I work part time. I don't want to see people. I'm doing all virtual. I don't know how to do virtual. Like, it's literally everything that we can go through. And so sign your permission slip. Let your yes be an absolute. And let your no's be so firm in the foundation of who you be. Like, I have no problem. As of a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I started shifting some things in my business. Can you come to that birthday party? Nope. Can you come to this? Nope. Like, it's not that I'm saying no to everything, but I'm saying no to the things that do not align with where I'm headed. I'm not telling you not to go to a birthday party, right? Missy's got one tonight. Okay, we're going to let you get out here and get to the party. You know what I'm talking about, though. You want to be everything to everybody. Everybody always says that. I think it's Kristen Sharp who says, you can have it all, but you cannot do it all. You can have it all, but you cannot do it all. You guys, in front of you is that you hold the key. You hold the key. You can change everything in an instant. And I'm going to tell you about this, and I know she's on virtual. Girl, I'll see you. Sunday. Something was downloaded on Arnisha's heart. I mean, Arnisha, maybe 4 years. And she said she was going to get a job. She moved to Texas, for those that know Arnisha. She moved to Texas. And she got a job from Amazon. Then that job position got let go before she even started. She took out about 3 times the amount of rent that she's living in. And she said, I literally was signed back up for Amazon. She found a shift that she could go in. And she said, and then it hit me. I was in church and I was in conversation, and then it hit me. I'm going to work for what? What about the money? And she said, not just thought, this can't be life. This can't be life. What do I need to do? I said, I'm going to have you start with a listen for a lip gloss. You guys, she'll probably be red jacket by tomorrow, if not next Sunday. You can start. Starting is starting. We can equip you. We can lead you to water. I couldn't make her send the tax. She did that on her own. I cannot make you drink, but maybe she needs me. And this girl, Allison heard it. Allison was hanging posters, and this girl was like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for an opportunity to start back in Mary Kay. I was in before, crazy divorce. You don't want to hear about it, but I've had a personal conversation with Pamela Shaw. I've been in the feet of Gloria Mayfield Banks. This is who I'm supposed to be. I'm so ready. And I was like, let me know when you want me to speak. Like, you just resigned yourself. Like, what if Arnisha had not had that listen for a lip gloss, prayed about who the 6 people that she was going to reach out to, and then did it? And I'm going to leave you with this. After after I read this, and then we're gonna do one thing. A few more things. My husband said, why are people not using that in their text message, in their voicemails, in their whatever, their heart? Him and I literally were on our knees the other night to pray, and he said, so if people are scared, let's tell people that we're scared. Hey Rhonda, it's Brooke with Mary Kay. Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I almost didn't call you. I was kind of nervous about what you would tell me. But I thought I couldn't not share it. I value you so much, I couldn't not share it. So honestly, it doesn't really matter what you say. It's the fact that I actually picked up the phone and called you. I'm really proud of myself. Your heart. That's what they're going to join for. That's what they'll book for. That's what they'll do things for. Maybe she needs me. It had been a long day and I was finishing a task. As I hurried past her, that little voice said, ask. Ugh. And today I told myself I'm tired and it shows. Besides, I could look foolish. And it's likely she'll say no. While drifting off to sleep that night, I saw her face again. I wondered what her life was like, her dreams, her needs, her pain. What if she had been praying for a friendly word or smile, the chance to meet somebody that would go the extra mile? What if she'd been looking for a break and open door? Was this the opportunity she was praying for? I saw the cars she would not drive, the rings that she would not wear, because I would not risk myself to stop, to ask, or to share. So what if I had offered her was not her cup of tea? That was a choice for her to make. How selfish could I be? When all the dreams are realized, I don't want to feel regret for the lives I didn't touch and change the no's I didn't get. Oh, let me live the true go give and let my mission be. Not do I need her, but maybe she needs me. How selfish could we be? She probably needs you. She probably needs you. I'll never forget when my senior went up to somebody in the grocery store, and she was super sharp, so she almost didn't approach her. And the lady came over that afternoon for a facial. She said, I want to tell you a story that I was actually at the grocery store. And she said, clearly that's where I met you. She said, I was at the grocery store to fill cupboards for my family. So when they read my note of why I left the earth, their cupboards would be filled. See, she was planning to take her life that afternoon. But a different story came in, a vehicle of a Mary Kay opportunity for a facial changed that woman's life. Oh, if she would not have asked. Oh, those kids would have been motherless, the husband wifeless, because she did not ask. Can you imagine the lives that could be changed if we could just get out of our own way? It is so much more than what you're here for. A 6 most important list of bookings. Okay, God, I think I got it in me. I'm picking up the phone, a text of looking stupid, a call for one more mascara, like I got it. It ain't that deep, bro. It ain't that deep. You got it. Leadership is in you. Legacy to leadership, it's already in you. Everything that you desire. Sign your permission slip right now. I'm going to have us do one more thing. And when Christine was asking you to write those 3 things, can you go back to that a second? You're going to write whatever those 3 things are, those strengths that you have in your life. I'm going to have you write them in an I am formation. I am, whatever those strengths were. I am. Write it down in 3 different ways. I am. Somebody give me an example. I am what?
Resilient.
I am consistent. Write it down. 3 things. I know this is So like still, can you raise your hand if you have all three done? Okay, another minute. Right fast. I am three things. If they are sentences, can I have you put it down to words? I am, fill in the blanks. If they are sentences, can you cut them down into words? It's like I'm a strong mother of two kids, like I'm strong. Okay, let's break it down to three quick things. Everybody's got them? See your hands if you got them. Okay, this side of the room, what I'm going to have you do is just close your eyes and tuck your chairs in. Hopefully they can get behind you. If you've got a lot of bags, maybe move them to the back. Virtual, I'd love for you to just be able to pay attention to what's happening. I know it's not a lot of involvement on your end. Okay, so this side I'm going to have you, if you can, have a seat. This side, can you get up and tuck your chairs in? I know you're like, literally, Simon says. If you can, and it doesn't have to be in order because obviously Ron will be waiting. So if you could just like maybe go both ways and then maybe crossing paths. But I'm gonna have this side of the room do. Can you hold me a second? Just go ahead and close your eyes. What this side of the room is gonna do, and I want it to be a whisper, I shouldn't even be able to hear you, but I'm gonna have you go into your sister's ear, every single one. You will go into every single one of their ear and make your I am into a you are. And if you can just whisper that into your sister's ear a second, let that just download into their heart of what they are. So you will put it in a you are formation and you guys can just spread out and go tell them in their ear. You can literally just come behind. They all have their eyes closed over here. Just keep your eyes closed. And if you want to give them all three, you want to give them one. And you're giving them yours, not theirs. Obviously, you're not looking over there. as we are going this side of the room. So powerful. I'm watching tears and smiles and tears. Confirmation. So, surprise. You guys are going to get up. You guys are going to sit down and let them be able to walk around. Yeah. I don't know if that's a knife to cut yourself with or a tissue or maybe you want some pudding. There's so many choices in that article. So the side of the room, if you can just pull out your lips. Close your eyes. Sorry. You're not reading your list. You're reading your list. And my cup runneth over. And my cup runneth over. I know it just did that to your spirit, but I know what it did to mine. That may be the first time that any of you have ever heard somebody spoken truth over your life. In words like that, confirmation, admiration, determination, confidence. Some of the words that were just engraved on your heart, it was almost like he was just speaking directly to you when that whisper came in. And I just asked if you're a faith or you're a meditation or you're a whatever, I would just get quiet. Because that whisper is what moves people. It's going to move you. The tears that flowed, that came from a deep place. You guys are all here for a reason. You are the key to your own success. What would a fall advance be if I didn't leave you with a challenge? I'm going to lighten the load for a bit. We're going to do a photo opportunity. I'm not going to tell you what jacket to pick. You already know it's laid out in your heart. But you cannot leave without a photo with your sales director, maybe a group photo, and also the photography station where work will meet you. And I think I missed my calling that serious photography. We're real good, okay? So, yeah, serious is out of business, clearly. Okay, so let me just give you this, if I can find it. I just kept going on my notes. What did that do to just your heart? Just a couple people want to speak while I find my challenge.
Thank you for asking me to sit down.
Thank you for staying down. You could have gotten up. Anybody else? What did that just do to your spirit? That's definitely what I did.
The most encouragement I've ever had in my life is from Mary Kay.
I think it just proves that we're a family and that we're there for everybody. And we're just here for everyone. We spoke from our hearts to each other because it's how we feel. And we love each other.
I've never heard someone tell me that I'm enough. You can't help other people. You're constantly trying to improve something that's already really good. You know?
Anybody else? I'm still flipping. You see it? It's on the back of the agenda.
Yes. I'm like, we talked about it during yoga. Where do they go? Like, we know this. All right, guys. Sorry.
I hope it's just some good yoga. Oh my gosh. Okay, really quick, if you can eyeball somebody in the room and make it a quick eyeball. One person that you do not know. Maybe it's your next door neighbor. I have no idea. Who is the person? Like somebody you don't know. Okay, so y'all, did you lock eyes with somebody? There might be a group. Missy, I am taking you out of this one. Missy's trying to get up. Okay. Did you find somebody that you don't know? And I like clearly you could go around the room. Okay, so I'm gonna have you find somebody you did not know because this is part of your challenge. So it's gonna be important that you find somebody in the room. If you're a group of three, you're a group of three. Okay.
Are we still looking? Are we making eye contact with
Okay, sorry. Okay, so you got three parts. One is a strategy hour. You just got to come up with a plan. You got to go through your notes, I made a challenge to my other two groups that if I had people in there, I said, can you, before you get home, before you get into mom mode, wife mode, whatever mode, can you really quickly just message me, box me? So I'm going to challenge you guys to do this. This is not a part of your strategy hour. This is the bonus. Message your sales director, and let her know this is not like what's stirring here. This isn't like, okay, let me flip through my notes, and then Brooke said this, and then Jen said that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the movement that's happening here. Okay? But your strategy hour is then planning. Mary Kay Ash said it best. Most people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So your strategy hour is like get like in these cells, coffee, like where am I working? Where am I now? Where am I crossing? Where am I making X's in my date book that like I'm unwilling to sacrifice? I do family nights on Sundays or whatever. Like I know if I text Andrea on a Sunday night, I ain't get a response. Maybe now because Kevin might be out in the field. But typically she's like, peace. The only time I get to see my husband and my kids, they're on the ranger, they're with every other ranger in the neighborhood. They're at a bonfire, they're on something. She ain't texting me back, so good luck, Chuck. Like, if you try to get a hold of her, it ain't gonna happen. Annoying? No, I admire her for that. Were you unwilling? So, strategy hour. Number 2, you're gonna go live on your VIP page and tell them your goal. Woo! Is it a sales goal? Is it a movement goal? Are you doubling down as Andrea talked about on Tuesday? What are you doing? Okay, great. And number 3 is 7 days of power with a power partner. What did I talk about? One thing powerful every day. And I would love it so with your sales director if they were IPAs. Like, I got a booking. I texted 10 people. I did something. Not like, I feel so organized and my inventory is now alphabetical. Like, that's you. Okay. Not what I'm looking for. Okay. So this is where your power partner, who you recognize it, is going to come in handy. It's important. Hold each other accountable. This is a new level of legacy. This is a level of leadership. Okay? Okay. Here we go. You ever go to a baby shower and you gotta write your own address and you're like that? Looks so familiar. You're like, oh, good. Wow. Okay. Okay. You're gonna this is gonna be a little bit weird. Okay. Self-address the envelope, but you're gonna write it for the person. You're gonna write the card about Bri. I'm not gonna put them together. Okay. You're gonna put Bri's name. You self-address this. Yes? Okay, if you don't know the person sitting next to you's name, ask. Self-address your own envelope. I meant to say Julie, but self-address it, but then you're gonna write it about Dana. You're gonna tell Dana whatever you want to tell her. You're gonna write about Dana. It might be a different spelling. Everybody get a self-address your own envelope. Write about the person sitting next to you. If we can just go in this formation, you're writing about Alicia. You're writing about okay. Self-address your own envelope. We went in this formation. So Savannah, you're writing about Courtney. Okay? Make sure you're going to the nearest jury. The person to your right, you're writing about. But you're self-addressing your own envelope. I don't care what you want to tell her. You want to congratulate her for being a red at the end of the month. You're writing it to her. And I'm gonna get set up for the photo shoot. I left Sears and now I'm at JCPenney, so I'm excited.